Hello children, we are back with our last section of pivot underscore tables class under data frame. Let's move on to the first introduction part of pivot table. I hope you remember this example. What does this example do? This one will create a pivot underscore table, that is a new data frame, with the argument index equal to divis, that is it is going to group under divis and find out the aggregate functions sum and mean of classes taken. So this is where we stopped. Now I just want to show you that apart from writing the sum, mean, count, max, min, etc., you can also do the same with np.average, where np is the alias name of any numpy object which you created. That means even in np also we have all these aggregate values. Only thing is that we don't call it like a function. So np.average is there, np.sum is there, np.max is there. So you can try it out and see the same answer will come. Just like the way we calculated here the mean earlier, the same answer will come for ag function equal to np.average. Okay, that is just for you to understand. If you want, you can try out like that also, but main concentration is with our key values or keywords min, max and etc. Okay, so I am giving you the next example. Pivot underscore table. Again this time also I use divis as the index, values, that is which one we are going to aggregate, that is your values, and the last one ag function max min. Okay, now max min gives you the highest value under classes and the lowest value under classes. As you can see over here, okay, 11a's highest value taken is 20 and the lowest value, that is the maximum number of period taken is 20 and the minimum number of period taken is 9. 11b it is the same, 13, 13, that is no highest or no two teachers are taking, so same values came. 12a also 1, 1, 11c 24, 18. If you compare with your old value, in order to compare I am having that old value here. Okay, old values. Okay, from this you can make out the answers, the highest and the lowest value accordingly. So when you go through the example, remember to follow up with the previous videos of pivot underscore table. Alright, now this is again another one with the help of ag function. This time I have introduced index equal to divis, values equal to tutor. Now I already told you that normally mean works with only numerical values. Tutor is a name of the teachers, correct? So it is not a numerical value. I have tried to aggregate with sum. You know what is sum? You know exactly what sum is doing. Sum adds up. Here what it does is it just concatenates, because the value which you wanted to aggregate is a string value. Let's see the answer, then you will understand what we are trying to say. In 11a, Remya and Sharon is taking the class. So Remya, Sharon combined because the ag function was sum, concatenation. Second one, see Sharon, only one person or only one tutor is under 11b, so Sharon came. 11c, Sobin Smita, concatenated. 12a GB, 12b Smita, again 12c 3 teachers are taking. So you have Ria, GB, Maria. So basically apart from mean, any other function, that means any other aggregate function can be given here with the string value under values argument and try it out to see the answers. Max and min can be done there. So the highest maximum value, that is which particular string value is having the highest ASCII, that will come for maximum. Min the same way, which is having the minimum will come. So accordingly you can find out any other aggregate value other than your mean, that is your average. Okay, the standard, STD, that variance, VAR, all these can be done. Okay, but the main aggregate functions are this, and it is based on this we can easily find out the output. So we stick on to this. the last one which we have never done, that is our count. How many teachers are taking under each division. So you can see very clearly here, depending upon the same answer which we just saw, you can see count in 11A 2 teachers, 11B 1 teacher, 11C 2 teacher, and your 12A 1 teacher, 12B 1 teacher accordingly. So we try to incorporate all the function which we normally use inside the argument ACFun, okay, that is ACK function short form. So in order to understand again the same old example which I told regarding the football players and the club and all, you can try out one such by yourself and try to put all this example into that and see. First try with this and then go with your own example, you will get a better idea. Now this we discussed, but I am just telling once again, that is mean cannot be calculated with the above two statements where value is tutor. Why? Because aggregation of mean can be done only with a numerical value and tutor is not a numerical value. Now, in the example which we discussed, we only had one numerical value. This is the example which we are discussing now. One numerical value, correct? What if you have two numerical value and try with the pivot underscore table? We already told that by chance if you have two, the two numerical value will be aggregated if we are not specifying which value to be aggregated. So, I have added one more, see. Tutor as usual, divis as usual, classes which was there already, and now I am one more extra section I am incorporating, or one more key values I am incorporating, that is total period, total PD. I have made it like that. So you have two numerical values. I have done with one example here, new D2 equal to DFT dot pivot underscore table. This one can be done with all the previous examples which we discussed, but I am just showing you one over here to make you understand that how this works, so that you can easily grasp the other examples also. Sum and mean. So we are trying to find out the sum as well as mean. Okay, this you already saw, remember? Classes sum is coming, which you have already discussed. Now this one is the total period of each classes. By adding up the total period of each classes, if you have more than one class where you have the total period, that will be added up and that sum is shown. So first sum is shown, and what is this? The mean. The first mean, you remember, the first mean is the corresponding, that is your corresponding mean of your classes taken, and this is the corresponding mean of your total period. That means, see for example over here, under each class each teachers are there, so that particular division, which division? 12B. If 12B is not repeated, 12B will be having 23, see 23. Now 11C. Now 11C you have 27.5, that means 11C is repeated, see 1, 2, again 3, one more is there. So that added up sum is coming here as 55. That you can try it out. If you want, you can just take this as a the same example, and then you try it out with the okay, I am just putting this in the next section so all of you can see what you did, and let it be this only function, okay, divis function, sum is there, mean is not there. So I am just running this again just to show you, so you will get an idea about what we are doing. No, we didn't have it. It came. So, see, divis, total period is displayed and the class is also displayed by adding it up. So I would like to show you by just making one change here, that is by giving a print statement, okay. Print DFD, that will give you, DFD, yeah, that will give you the answer for the data frame which you created. Yeah, this one, see, total period is there. 11A you have, yeah, see, 29 plus 20, 49, like that we can have your mean also. Then 11B, only one is there, so 29 came. 11C we added up, 32 plus 23 plus, that's it, no, 2 11Cs are there, correct? So that's it. So 12A, 27, only one I think, yeah. Then 12B again, check it out. 12B only one is there, so 23. Like that, 12C only the one, 30 plus 28 plus 17, you got 75. So you can try it out like this way and get the answer by yourself. And in the previous example which we discussed, I had incorporated sum and mean. So that means if you have two numerical values and you are not specifying which values aggregate should be taken, all the values answer will be displayed, okay. Now the statement I have modified. This time I have incorporated values equal to total PD. Since I have incorporated values equal to total PD, your classes, that particular column is ignored and you have the answer, okay. That is 49, that particular sum of total PD which you just saw earlier, and the mean of total PD is also discussed. So that completes your pivot table section properly, okay. These are the examples which you have in pivot table. Go through it and find out. If you have any doubts, get back to me when we have the next meet, okay. And let's move on. So after discussing the different aspects of your pivot or pivot underscore table, both, we are moving on to another section not having any connection with pivot and pivot underscore table, and that is handling missing values. And the first section under that is dropping the missing values in pandas. That means suppose if you have a NaN value, that is, which is not a mandatory value in our data frame. If you don't want to see that, or if you actually want to remove that particular row or the column, we can think about dropping it. Dropping in the sense deleting it or erasing it from the data frame, or just to see that particular data frame by avoiding that only that index or only that column where you have a NaN value. That you can do with drop NA function. It is drop NaN function short form. Drop NA. Pandas data frame drop NA function is used to remove rows and columns with null or NaN value. We call it as we call it as NaN value only. We have option also as null. We know that in SQL we call it as null. So by default this function returns a new data frame and the source data frame remains the same, meaning the original data frame will not be affected if you give a drop down function. That will be only affected if you give one specific argument, which you can see as the last section, okay. Let's move on to the example now. This example, our old example, remember we had this pre-test score, post-test score and all. Yeah, there in these two pre-test score and post-test score, I have given np.nan. How to use np? Remember you have to import numpy as np. So I have given a non-existing number. That means we don't know the marks of these sections. So Ben's pre-test score marks also we don't know. Dennis post-test score mark also we don't know. So we have put np.nan. When you print, this is how the answer will come. The usual data frame. Now, if I give print df.drop now without any argument, we have arguments. If you give this particular without any argument, it will just delete these two. That will not be displayed, and you have the new output like this. See, automatically all the records with NaN values are deleted, but not in your data frame. It is only now getting displayed in the print. Your data frame remains to be the same. That means after this, if you write print df, the existing data frame will have the NaN values. Okay. So we'll move on to the next one. The first argument, all the arguments are optional here, because as you saw, we can give the drop now function without any argument. Axis equal to 1 you can give, axis equal to 0 also you can give. I can also give axis equal to column, that means by specifying that in your single quotes, or axis equal to row. So this means axis equal to column. So wherever you have a particular column having a NaN value, that column's NaN value will be removed. So for example, when I said NaN value will be removed, means column will be removed. Okay. See, because you have pre-test score and post-test score having this NaN value. So when you try with axis equal to column, wherever you had this NaN value, that column as such is removed from there, isn't it? So this is the output for having an argument with axis equal to column. So axis equal to rows or axis equal to 1, which is the another option for column, can be given, and you can fetch the output like this. Okay. Now the next one, another argument. You cannot give all these arguments together. You can try out with different arguments only. You remember how specifies with where to delete. So how equal to all means if any records you have particular NaN value, means all the values are NaN, then that will be deleted. Here we don't have any such records. We have only 1, 2 different columns having the NaN value. So basically the same output of print df is displayed. So here none of the records are deleted. The reason is, as the argument is given is how equal to all. It means if any record is having all NaN value, then only it will be dropped. There is one more option called as how equal to any. Then you can see the difference. Okay. How equal to any means, yeah, I think I have not given. So if you can just check it out if it is given or not. How equal to any, I have just told here. See, how equal to any means is same as the second output. That means if any columns are having NaN values, then those records are deleted. So which output will come? The first output, no, just like that. So this is basically for this. 1, 2 different rows are deleted. So the same answer will come for how equal to any. So you can try it out with that. This one, how equal to all or how equal to any can be given. Now the next one, that is subset. That means you are only checking for name and pre-test score. Suppose if name, that particular column is having a NaN value, then that will be removed. If pre-test score is having a particular NaN value, then that will be removed. Here name is not having any NaN value, so that is surviving there, or it is already retained there. Whereas pre-test score, you have one NaN value, that column is removed. So this is how the drop now works with subset. So subset, then what we discussed? We also discussed how then axis. All this works in a singular manner, in the sense one by one you can try it out. Okay. Now we said about this very clearly, and the last one. Along with this, if any of this are given together, and then along with this, if you are giving in place equal to true, then automatically the changes which you have made is reflected in the original data frame. After this, if you try to give print df, automatically the two records which was having NaN value, that is our pre-test score and post-test score records of Ben and Dennis, will be deleted, and you will not be again seeing that once more in the original data frame. So in place equal to true, you had discussed, or we know it in our sort underscore values function. So similarly here also you can use it. Now true should be given in the T should be in capital, should be given like that. False means it's by default false. You can try out drop now with all these together also, but I didn't have that much of time to work it out, so try it out and let me know if you give it together what happens. Okay, so this completes our dropping our values where you have the missing values. Now we have to also see how to fill the missing values, okay, in the next class. Thank you.